Welcome to today's 5-minute Bible study in the Gospel of Matthew. We're in Matthew chapter 8. Today we're reading at verse 18 through 22. Now in chapter 8, Matthew has been describing to us the ministry of Jesus as he goes about preaching, teaching, and his ministry is attended by power. The power of God is evident in all that Jesus does. The power to heal, the power to set free. Large crowds are following Jesus, listening to him, seeing the miracles, and many are presenting themselves as those who would follow him, who would be his disciples. But Jesus wants to make it clear that if you would be my disciple, there are costs involved. There's a cost to being a disciple of Jesus. And he makes that clear to everyone who presents themselves to him. Let's read what he says. Matthew 8, verses 18 through 22. Now when Jesus saw the crowd around him, he gave orders to cross to the other side of the lake. And a teacher of the law came to him and said, "Teacher, I will follow you wherever you go." And Jesus replied, "Foxes have holes, birds of the air have nests, but the Son of Man has no place to lay his head." Another disciple said to him, "Lord, first let me go and bury my father." But Jesus told him, "Follow me, and let the dead bury their own dead." Now these are some hard statements at first to understand. They perplex us just a bit as Jesus describes the cost involved in being his disciple. What does he mean? Now notice the first person says, I will follow you, Lord. I'll go where you go. I'll be your disciple. And Jesus begins to talk about foxes having holes and birds having nests, but that he has no place to lay his head. What does this mean? Jesus is saying to this would-be disciple, my way is in many instances a way of homelessness. Does that mean you have to be homeless to follow Jesus, having no place to lay your head? I think what it means is Jesus is telling us, if you follow me, your home is not in this world, but your home is with me. And you are looking toward a heavenly city. So though you live in this world, it is not really your home. You are just a pilgrim, a traveler through. I remember an old hymn we used to sing in the church. This world is not my home. I'm just a passing through. My treasures, they're laid up somewhere beyond the blue. It's true. This world is not our home. Now, we live as citizens of the world, but also, and more importantly, we know we are citizens of heaven. And so our ultimate home is not found in this world or the things of this world. Our ultimate home is found in Jesus. Amen and amen. So to follow Jesus, we must realize there's a cost involved, and that is make our home with him. Not in this world. We live here, yes, obviously, but we know our ultimate home is with Jesus. Now, there's another who says, I'm going to follow you, Lord, but first I've got to bury my father. And Jesus said, let the dead bury their own dead. And again, this rather perplexes us. Obviously, that's something you should do, is to bury your father. But I think Jesus is pointing out to this man that our ultimate priority has to be to him, not to our earthly relationships. More than likely, this man's father was not dead yet. More than likely, what the man was saying is, as long as my father is alive, I owe obligations to him. When he passes, then I'll be free, then I'll come follow you. And Jesus says, no, I must be first. Even above your obligations to your father, I must be first. Jesus has to be the first relationship of our life. More important than any other relationship we have. More important than any other commitment we have. Not that the other commitments are unimportant, but they are secondary to Jesus. Jesus has to be first. Now this is the cost of being a disciple. Jesus must always be first in our life. Remember another hymn we sometimes sing in the church? Jesus is all the world to me, my life, my joy, my all. He is my strength from day to day. Without him, I would fall. That's what the hymn says. Jesus is all the world to me. He is my life. He is my joy. He is my all. He is the first in my life. Everything else is secondary to him. Jesus makes it clear to these would-be disciples in Matthew chapter 8, there's a cost involved in following him. He must be our home, not the things of this world. He is our ultimate home. He must be first in our life. Everything else takes second place to him. That's still the cost of discipleship. Jesus is my home, my ultimate home. Jesus is my priority, the first of my life. Everything else is secondary to him. That's what it means to be a disciple. And that's the cost Jesus says we must pay if we're to have faith in him, if we're to follow him. Amen and amen. You have a great day today, and I'll see you next time for our 5-minute Bible study in the Gospel of Matthew.